Our prayers for everyone. May the Divine Mother, our God and Guru, may you and your family be protected from every calamity, including the current COVID-19, which is creating havoc in the heart and the minds of every family. May we be protected beyond all sufferings. May all happiness and joy shower upon every member of our family. We bow down to that alone who we worship. We bow down to the witness of the universe, to that one. We bow down who is our eternal support. Itself beyond all existence, and the existence itself alone is the one to whom we bow down. Across the ocean of this world, where the soul, the spirit, the existence alone is expanded from eternity to eternity, has always been there, will always be there, and is there right now, through which we are taken in the raft. And to those, to our Divine Mother, God and the Guru, to this, apparently, we are very fragile and with life and death. Good morning to all of you, and my pranam and namaskar. Today, I wish to share with you, we have Swapnadeep Totan, who has been a member of our spiritual community and a very close brother devotee. Guru Bhai, it is with a heaviness of heart, and yet we find that he has, dear devotees, left his body yesterday, last evening, approximately at about 5 o'clock. He's been suffering for some time, and your prayers, particularly his mother, his wife, his mother's sister, his own brother and his own son, along with many of you that I know, have been praying for his quick recovery. Champion Totun, as favorably known to everybody, was always pleasant, always smiling. You can see by the picture. But what I want to share with you today in our holy session that we have is that this body is not who we are. Yes, Swapnadeep's body is no more amidst us, but his spiritual body and his mind, it is eternal. As an ardent devotee and an aspiring Vedantist in your spiritual journey and mind, and so was Swapnadev. He has been an absolute sincere seeker every Sunday almost through the year. He traveled from Mumbai, whether by bus or whether by taxi, or whether he drove down himself, or he came down with his Guru Bhai, Raja and Jayanti. Always came down here on Sundays and attended the session. Very sincere, whenever he has been, not perchance for his work or other requirement, couldn't be, whether in the taxi or in the car or in the airport, he, through his mobile, kept in track with us. Many of you are very close friend of his. His physical body has been a great company to each one of us. Certainly we miss his presence. Reminds me of Paramahamsa Ramakrishna. Paramahamsa Ramakrishna. Imagine, at the age of 10 or 11, he lost his father. He was right from his childhood, was already known to be that the God himself has come down. And yet, the loss of his father was a big blow to him. And he silently kept at it. His nephew, who used to come down, his sister's son, and play with him and spend the day when sister is busy with other work. And Paramahamsa Ramakrishna used to give him some pigeons who were pet pigeons to play with and some wooden toys. And this young nephew, spending all the time, became very attached to Thakur Paramahamsa Ramakrishna. And he used to say, but evening comes, this boy would say, I have to go to my mother. Whole day he was very happy there. But as the evening comes, he's thinking about the mother. As yours and my evening comes, in Swapnadev's time, it is highly premature. He was too young, with only about 51. But when yours and my time comes, we need to know that knowingly or unknowingly, we are not permanently from birth to death in this body. This body is temporary and we are going to go over them. Swapnadev, with his spiritual journey with us, had taken up this journey so sincerely and devotedly, asking so many questions all the time. And I could see in the last 8 to 9 years' time that he's been seriously pursuing, truly elevated, devoted to his mother, come whatever may. His mother was always in his heart and he was in his mother's heart. Mother, his wife, his sons, 2 sons, his brother, his mother's sister, and all of you and me, we are all deeply stricken because of his body, not there with us. But he is there with us. He is eternal. He is present right now. Sarva Vyapi, now he has become from a limited state of his body and the health, where he was at one place and he couldn't move from one to the other, whereas now he has gone to Desha Paricheda. He's gone beyond that limited by space. Now he is everywhere. Vivekananda had said, I'm not going to live more than 40 years of my life. And notice, he left his body at 39. But before he left, he said, though I am not going to cross 40 years of my life, but I am going to continue to work with everyone till every person on this universe, on this earth, every man and woman walking down the street of a big cities, national, international, to the smallest of the village and the slums, must know about the truth about Vedanta. I find Swapnadeep similarly is going to continue to work with his family, with his mother, with his wife, with his children, with his family members, and the spiritual family such as you and me. He is there. I feel his presence right now. He may not be visible to us with our physical eye, but through the astral eye, he is strongly present. He has been a, a very, very powerfully simple, honest, truthful, a human being, very kind, very loving. He became closest to the heart, starting from many of you to Sharada ma'am and I, and of course to his own family members. Yes, it is very difficult. Paramahamsa Ramakrishna's that nephew suddenly, with an attack of cholera, he died. And Paramahamsa Ramakrishna is saying, now I know what is this pain of dying of a physical body. We all know the deep grief called Putra Vyog, the mother. Swapna ma'am is suffering right now, and so is his wife, and so are his sons. Our prayers continue to be support and heal them through the spiritual knowledge, and we are certain with the Divine Mother, with time, would heal them and realize Swapnadeep is going to continue to work with us. I have today this deep loss for all of us. Very good-hearted, spiritually awakened person in a very rapid time. The progress that many of you have done, I am actually jealous, and I used to be jealous of Swapnadeep along with some of you who have been rapidly traveling. And the journey itself was never a stress, very joyous, very happy, very pleasant, and always in control. Swapnadeep has left his body, but he has not left us. It is an apparent journey. Yes, he is resting peacefully in a calm state, like a little bubble of peace and joy in the lap of Divine Mother. But he is, and his consciousness, like Vivekananda had said, I'm going to work with everyone. I can see that with his Sukshma Sharira, with his Manas mind, we would continue to feel his presence. This life and death, what do they teach us? You know, this fear of death is there for the ignorant, and everybody is, until they're spiritually awakened, like some of you, and I personally experienced along with Sharada, Swapnadeep, was totally beyond. There are three people, three men, came to know about a big fete, a mela into the next town. Little before 100 years or so is the stories of Vedanta. So they all dressed up with their best of the dresses and started their journey to go down to the next, the town, the village, and have attained the function, the fate, the mela. Just so happened on the way, they were attacked by dacoits. The dacoits, they wanted to rob them, but they didn't carry anything besides a few coins. They said, okay, take off all your clothes. You're wearing very nice silk clothes. The first person, very stout, and his clothes fit him so well, like a skin. They said, take off your clothes. And this first person was very fond of his clothes. After a lot of tailoring, he had got it managed, and he was just to always keep it carefully to be used once in a year or something like that. Very attached. The second person was also big, but his clothes, because of his own, the journey to his spiritual journey, was attachment was there, but there was also a kind of detachment. But he was also attached to his clothes, but not so much as the first person. And the third person was little slimmer, and he had his clothes were loosely fitting him. The simile of this story is as if the Lord of Death comes to us, and this cloth is the one which we are wearing as called body to our supreme soul, supreme spirit, supreme self. And this body is going to keep on changing. And with our spiritual journey, we know. But the first person to whom his clothes were so closely fitted and so attached was he to his clothes, so-called, in this simile, his body, that he couldn't just part with it. He was in deep grief and pain and fear. I don't want to give it. And he was beginning to get beaten up. Similarly, suffering in life by the spiritual absence, by the Lord of Death. The third person, he had no problem. He said, you want my clothes? Take it. He took out his clothes and gave it to him. The second person, he was reluctant, but yet he was spiritually pretty advanced, and he took it out quite comfortably and gave it up to them. The first person found it very difficult. You and I today, we see Swapnadev Toton. He stood between the second and the third person. I was talking to him, messaging him regularly, besides the last about 9-10 days, when he could not communicate because they put his body upside down. He found it difficult, and he was in absolutely support system, so he couldn't talk. But he used to message still. And he kept on messaging. I'm with Divine Mother and I'm fighting. He was like the second and the third. He was free to give up his body, but his deep attachment to his mother, father, his wife, and his children, he knew I have still some more duty to perform. And so he certainly was wanting to take a few more years, complete his spiritual work and the so-called the family work of this earth, and then leave his body. This life and death is the Maya. What do they teach us? Look carefully. Dear devotee, learned, very spiritually advanced brothers and sisters, Vivekananda is saying, kings die, beggars die, saints die, and those spiritually deprived people, they too die. Sick people die, healthy people die. Death is the one certainty to this physical body, is without any doubt for anyone. The fact that we are born, we're going to die, and everybody knows it. But we go and attend the funerals, but we forget I could possibly die too. But you know what? This spiritual journey that you and I have taken up, we are aware this is transient, but our intention is to go, which we pray every time, to go from death to immortality, go beyond, where resurrection of the body, like the Easter on Jesus Christ did it. There is disappointment which takes us to higher spiritual goal. If you look carefully, Jesus Christ was highly disappointed by the brothers' behavior. Even though they tortured him so much, he said, please God, forgive them. Paramahansa Ramakrishna, he was deeply pained. At about 20, his elder brother, Ram Kumar, he had brought him to Kolkata, to Dakshineshwar temple. And there he took over the job of a priest. Ram Kumar also died when Paramahansa was about 20 years of age or so. And he was deeply moved. So he is talking about this grief is really strong despite being enlightened. So your grief and our deepest of the sympathy and our love flows out with all assistance to the family members. We understand. But death is something which is certain for all of us. And we need to get connected. What does it teach us? Teaches us like Swapnadeep has showed us. He was cheerful, he was happy. I never found him once during this, at any time he was fearful or anxious. And he was confident, I am going to win. And he did. His actual time that I got the message in my meditation was around 21st, 22nd of April. But he fought with the mother's supporting prayers, with mother's sister, with his wife and son, Akash, and his brother, and Sarada ma'am, and many of you prayed so hard. He had many friends all over the world, from Middle East to America to Europe. Everybody was praying for him. He did go past 26th of April, 30th of April. These were the block time that he had to cross. 6th of May and 15th of May. And he just shot up that he stumbled just after the 16th. We are with him. What kind of life is he in now? As you and I die, our physical body dies. Remember one thing, right from now, take up the journey. We are not dead. Asato ma sat kamaya. Take us from mother, unreal to real. Asat to sat. Tamasu ma jyotir kamaya. Take us, mother, from darkness of ignorance to light of wisdom and knowledge. Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Take us from death to immortality. Sapnadeep is going to be with us, immortal, just as the great masters have been with us. Every religion talks about life after death. There is a life after death. So right now, the life beyond death, he is in peaceful rest after this struggle, but he is spiritually available, sarva vyapi, everywhere, anantam and advaitam, because the God within, the spirit within, and him are one now. And he is going to take birth after birth after birth till he becomes one. Knowing him, I do not think, I had thought most of you, including him, would do it in this one birth alone. Knowing him and the ardent way he has carried this wealth of his spiritual practices. This is one thing alone, your practices, your spiritual, your nature is going to go along with us once we leave this body. Body is not going to go. Name and fame is not going to go. Money that we keep on acquiring or the sensual pleasures for which we are racing after is not going to go. But his work, I silently and very joyfully noticed the way he was elevating. I do not think one more birth is adequate for him. And then, just like Paramahansa Yogananda had said, I'm going to leave my body, but I am going to come back and be with you when you are practicing your Kriya Yoga. You may not recognize me, but I will know you. Same thing, message from Jesus Christ. Jesus said, those who surrender to me shall never die. And those who die, who surrender to me and die, will resurrect themselves. Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, wherever you are, I will be there with you. I will come. I know Swapnadev must have been by him taken by the Divine Mother, by his spiritual practices. Kalipada Ghosh reminds me of a beautiful, powerful, anecdotal, very appropriate story. Not a story, it happened actually. Kalipada Ghosh came with Mr. Girish Ghosh to meet Paramahansa Ramakrishna in Dakshineshwar. And he was known for his drinking habits. He used to be always drunk. Kalipada Ghosh came and to Paramahansa Ramakrishna on his first meeting. He says, do you have anything for me to drink? And Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, yes, I have. Everybody was shocked. Everybody else was embarrassed that to Paramahansa, to everybody considered him God incarnate and knows him to be God incarnate. Even at that time, today all of us know that Buddha, Jesus, Paramahansa, Vivekananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, Larima Sekh, Krishna, Giri, Babaji, they're all God incarnate. They were embarrassed that Kalipata Ghosh said, what drinks do you have for me? Paramahansa Ramakrishna strangely took it beautifully and said, yes, I have. He said, really? Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, yes. But this what I have, if you take it, you will forget all your other drinks. So Kalipada Ghosh tells Ramakrishna, why? This is from England? Those days, Belaiti drink. Belait was England. Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, no, it is pure Desi, but it is so powerful that it will make you forget all what you've been drinking. Kalipada Ghosh went beyond his little that joking and said, yes, Lord, I want you to give it to me. And he continued to practice. One day, Paramahansa Ramakrishna was about to leave. This part of the story is very important and appropriate in today's what we are investing our time in sharing with each other. Kalipada Ghosh came in a big steam engine boat right next to the river. Ganges was the temple. He left the boat there and came up and told Ramakrishna Paramahansa was getting ready to go by a horse's cart to Kolkata. Kalipata Ghosh came and said, no, 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 you come with me by the boat. I will take you. So Ramakrishna Paramahansa, very simple-minded and very childish. And he said, okay, I'll come. And he goes, Kalipata Ghosh takes the boat in the middle of the river, Ganges, and he stops the engine. And he tells the captain of the boat to hold it there. Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, what are you doing? He said, we are not going to Calcutta till you give me what I asked for. Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, what do you want? I'll give it to you. He said, no, you have to give me what I asked for. I want absolute elevation. He said, okay, I'll give you mantra. You keep practicing. He gave him mantra. He said, no, this is not enough. Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, what do you want me to give you? He said, no, I want you to give me that which is very difficult for everyone. He said, okay, okay. Ramakrishna Paramahansa said, okay, okay. I will give you that blessing with which, without any effort, you will attain enlightenment in this life alone. Kalipada Ghosh would be thrilled. Without any work, he's going to be enlightened. And yet he said, no, I don't want. I want something else. And Ramakrishna Paramahansa is totally exasperated. He said, what else? I'm giving you the highest enlightenment gift. Kalipada Ghosh says, no, Master, when I die, I do not know how he must have got, it is not explained how, but he narrates it vividly. He said, when I die and leave this body, you won't be here, but I want you to come. When I leave my body, there will be nobody in that room. I'll be alone without my relatives. I want you to come, you to receive me. In your left hand, he had that much of vision. In your left hand, there will be a light to show the path through the darkness of the future. And on the right hand, you will hold my hand and take me across into the darkness of peace and love and quiet. And Paramahansa Ramakrishna said, okay, 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 I will grant you that. Now let's go to Calcutta. It is said, Paramahansa Ramakrishna left his body. Kalipada Ghosh, after some time, 1990s, he too was about to die. And one of the Swami from Ramakrishna Mission went down to see him, knowing him to be favorite disciple of Paramahansa Ramakrishna. And he says, before the last moment came, Kalipada Ghosh rose up from his lying posture and said, Thakur, so you have not forgotten me. You have come. Swamiji is here. Holy Mother is here. And he said, hey, who is there? Come inside. Put some asanas for them. And he raised his hand like that, which was supposed to be his right hand with the right hand. And I see today that Swapnadev, in a similar pattern, must have been received by his favorite Divine Mother. He worshipped intensely to Mother Kali, which is his family deity, Halaharini Mother, and his mother's dearest and father's family deity. He must have been taken with his body. Yes, he has a journey to make. We know for sure that people like him are closer to God, very close to his family. He'll have a peaceful, rewarding life after this, and one life and in which he would be attaining, for which he worked so hard. The knower of Brahman attains the highest. He became close to knower. In Katha Upanishad, there is a beautiful stanza in which it goes on to say, Mrityusya Mrityu, Amobhati, Rava Manena Pashyati. The one who sees the slightest difference between God and himself, the one who sees that he is different than God, he goes from death to death to death to death, as per Yama tells in Katha Upanishad to Nachiketa. We know now, each one of you, particularly Swapnalil, he knew and he was working more sincerely to get aligned that knower of Brahman, Supreme Ishvara, God, Divine Mother, that he goes from this to one birth, and till then he stays in our heart. In which the greatest of the sorrow cannot disturb you. You are one with the Supreme, as you know, this is what is our journey today. Fear of death, that which is behind you, that which is in front of you, is nothing compared to what is within you. So with the example of, as we are taking in Shankaracharya, the message of the Vedanta from Paramahansa Yogananda Yukteswar Giri Lahiri say, Babaji, the deathless master, Kalpa Yogi Mahavatar Babaji, holding our hands, Swami Vivekananda, who spread the message of the Vedanta, Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Often he would tell, if only you know who you are. So dear devotees, brothers and sisters, take on more ardently and pray and support spiritually through meditation with that power which is within you. So that which is lies behind you, that which is ahead of you, is nothing compared to what is within you. With that, we remember Swapnadeep and Totun, a kind brother, caring son to his mother, sadly last physically were not little well, but he gave me the example which we often talk. Paramahansa Ramakrishna, 3 days to go for his leaving the body, and comes in Hari Maharaj and says, Thakur, how are you today? In Kalpataru, in a garden building in near Calcutta. And Thakur said, oh, my throat is paining a lot, I can't eat anything. Hari Maharaj, Turiya Maharaj, says he was very young, and just imagine, sounds very cruel. He says, but Thakur, you look as if you're in bliss, you're in joy. Normally a person would find very insulting. I'm going to die and this guy says I'm in bliss and happiness. But Paramahansa Ramakrishna, he said, look at that, rascal has caught me. In Bengali, he said, Shala dhore peleche. Rascal has caught me. I find today, Swapnadeep, during his last few days, despite he was in isolation in the ward, and yet he communicated with us his joy and the power of his being. a very caring, loving devotee with each one of us, loving, very dear and caring husband and father. We will pray. Let us meditate to the Supreme and make his path peaceful and happy by praying for him and remembering him and his little anecdotes. I remember he was always very spiritually excited and wanting to know and wanting to read and found many things and kept sending it to us. Let us pray, in which we would like you sit comfortably wherever you're sitting. We will follow the simple, the mindfulness meditation process to edging on to the Vedantic process. As we are breathing in, feel the coolness of the tip. As you're breathing out, feel the warmth of the tip of the nose. With your eyes closed, focus at the center. After 5 breaths, approximately 5 to 6 breaths, focus your mind from awareness. Be aware of the sound around you. Be aware of the seat on which you're sitting. Be aware of the people around you. Be aware of the consciousness and the awareness, which is who we are. And with that, then 5 to 6 breath again. Go on to absolute space. Witness with your eyes closed, absolute space. No cloud, no sky, no dimensions, no color, only space, but filled with peace, joy, and harmony. And imagine our dear Swapnadeep in there resting, and our prayers to support him and his family members who are there on this earth with us, and for Swapnadeep to take on his next journey swiftly and quickly to fulfill his life's mission. Let us start. Close your eyes, pull your shoulders back, back is straight, not stiff, not rigid, a gentle, pleasant expression in your face, and be comfortable. Breathing in, feeling the coolness at the tip of the nose. Breathing out, feeling the warmth at the tip of the nose. Shifting on to being aware of the sound, being aware of the body, being aware of the seat. Visualize space, just vast space. Brahman, Atman. No clouds, no light, no darkness either. Just be aware of a vast space. Vast space. You are the light, not affected if it falls on holy water, not affected. The light does not get affected if it falls on dirty water or on a pitcher of wine. Like that, you are lighting up the light of Sapnadev's and your own. Though in the physical absence of Sapnadev, may his families, mother, wife, children, send them your spiritual energy, rays of brilliant energy engulfing them, giving them the power, the strength to remove all sufferings from their physical life. And even with the absence of Swapnadev, making their stay an achievement of work for the rest of their life, happy and joyful. Shift to the Vedantic meditation. Asanga Asmin, I'm totally detached like this powerful light detached from what it falls upon. Asanga Aham, Asanga Aham, Asanga Aham. Asanga Asmin, I am that absolute detachment. Sat, existence. Chit, consciousness. Ananda, I am. I send that existent consciousness bliss to everyone, those who are suffering from any illness or sickness, including COVID, known and unknown, including those who are suffering from the loss of their dear ones. Suprabha Asmin, Jyoti Jyoti, everywhere, all around you, and sending that light of love, support, and kindness. Dvaita Varjita, all alone, one alone is truth, Supreme Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. I am that. Proceed towards Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Take 3 long breaths. Rub your palm with your eyes closed. Bring in energy of our Gurudevs, Paramahansa Yogananda, Teshwar Giri Larimasai's blessings. Swami Vivekananda, Holy Mother, Paramahansa Ramakrishna, Babaji, Krishna, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Divine Mother in the form of Mother Kali, Mother Durga, Mother Saraswati, Mother Lakshmi. Feel the tingling of the palm. Send the energy with the chanting 3 times of Om. Send it to everybody. Rub your palm to your own family members, brothers, sisters, neighbors, known, unknown, and to the families of those who are suffering from the loss, from the grief. Heal them. Feel the tingling of the energy. Again. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. May I have your cameras on, please? Thank you. May each one of the members around you in your own family, the people around. May I have the other's camera, please? Let me see you. Thank you. Protect. You have the power. Generate within you. Send with the divine prayers and the energy to everybody around. Heal them, protect them. You are an Advaita Vedantist, the supreme of the supreme knowledge. Everybody can't come into it. You look at you and me. We didn't know anything about it till 20, 30 years back. But you are on that journey. It is said, everybody cannot know about Vedanta. The fact that the Vedanta has stumbled across in your life, you and I, we are divinely blessed. And it is said, when you have Vedanta in your life, has just stumbled across, happened to come across, or you willingly got involved with it, you have only one thing is left, and that becoming one with who we really are. I am Atman Brahman. Let's finish with a prayer. To that alone we worship. We bow to the witness of this universe, who is and none other that is you, the Atman, the Brahman, is the witness, is the observer, is the awareness of this universe. To that one alone we bow down, who is our eternal support, is always there, Sarvabhyapi Anantam Advaitam. God doesn't create our world filled with suffering. It is us who mix with the God's planning, with our karma, that we create our happiness and joy with this physical body. The self-existence alone to which we bow down. The raft which boat takes us across the ocean of the Bhavatarani from life to afterlife. We bow down through the ocean of this world of life. We bow down through which we are taken on that raft, on that boat, to the Divine Mother, God, and our Gurus. Our Gurus themselves is always there. Atma Param Guru. Adi Guru is with us. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Guru.